Hello everyone. Before we get started, please like and share and comment on this video once it's done. This helps with the algorithm so it can push my videos out there for people who might be a fan of my content. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And make sure you cut on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Thank you. My name is Bernice, and I used to work in Best Buy as a Geek Squad. So I would help a lot of customers whenever they had problems with their electronics or any sort of devices. But there was one customer, and his name was Ricky, and I could not stand him. He was a freak and a weirdo. And every time he comes in, I run in the other direction. I usually let one of my coworkers deal with him because I don't want nothing to do with the guy. He done some very creepy things towards me and made me extremely uncomfortable the way he looked at me up and down like he was checking me out. But on this particular day, he went too far and it resulted in the police being involved. This happened back in 2021. I remember exactly, it was December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. And as you guess, working in any type of retail, the stores are going to be packed on that day, especially 2 days before Christmas and all the other holidays that's coming up. I was helping out a lot of people. Everyone was coming in saying that they had some problems with their devices or something was wrong or their laptops needed fixing, stuff like that. It was when this guy came, and his name was Chester, and he was a heavy-set, nerdy guy. Basically your typical nerdy guy who plays video games, that lives in his mama's basement. He was heavy-set, he was bald, had a beard, wear glasses, and he always wear his typical anime t-shirt with an anime girl with revealing clothes on. I also want to point out that I am Japanese American. My parents moved down here when my mom was pregnant with me, and so I'm mentioning this because my race also plays a factor in how Chester treated me. As I was helping customers out, that's when I heard someone coming towards me. He was breathing heavy and he was laughing. I obviously knew it was Chester. I looked up and I was in disgust because the guy was wearing a white, dirty, musty stained t-shirt and he reeked with must and odor. It was unbearable. I let my department manager know that he was back because he's had a history of harassing me before, and I really didn't feel comfortable taking care of this guy's issue without another person nearby or next to me, just in case he tried anything. My department manager stood next to me as I got myself together to help out Chester. Hello, welcome to Best Buy Geek Squad, how can I help you? I asked him, trying my absolute best not to make any reaction to how bad he smelled. Hi Bernice, it's nice seeing you again. My laptop is acting up. It's frozen on this little website here. It's kind of embarrassing. This is where it's at. He said to me, while smiling, showing his yellow, stained, crooked teeth. And when he showed me what his laptop was stuck on, I had to do my absolute best not to scream or judge the guy or throw up. On there was, let's just say, anime pleasure stuff. I think if a lot of you are anime fans, you get where I'm coming from. It's a genre of anime that's pretty popular. That's all I'm gonna say. But it was stuck on something and I was disgusted. And he knew what he was doing by showing me this. I hesitated at first, but I finally was able to help him with his laptop. It was frozen and just needed to be restarted. Once it got restarted, I told him, okay, there you go, Chester. It's working well again. Thank you for stopping by Geek Squad. You have a great day and happy holidays. Thank you, Bernice. Hey, I was wondering, since you helped me, maybe you could be my waifu. And maybe you can come over to my house. I share it with my mom. We'll be cooking dinner and I would love for you to come. You're real beautiful. Come on. You're really hot and sexy. And I really want you. Come over, please, Chester said. But before I can even respond, my manager butted in. Okay, sir, you need to go now. Please leave right now before we have to get the authorities involved. Chester then grabbed his laptop and made his way out of the store. Afterwards, once my shift was done, 2 hours later, I walked towards my car, and as I was about to hop in, I heard someone call out to me. Hello, waifu. I waited until your shift was done to meet up with you. I have a question I want to ask you, I screamed, as I did not expect Chester to be standing out there waiting on me. I then told him, I have pepper spray, and I'm going to use it if you don't leave me alone right now. And I'm going to scream real loud, and they're going to call the cops, and I'm going to yell and tell everyone that you're harassing me. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you, waifu. I actually have a question I want to ask you. And then Chester got close to me, super close, and I started to freak out. I grabbed the pepper spray. I was about to spray it in his eyes, but then he grabbed it, and then he cornered me by my car. He placed his hands on my car window, and he whispered in my ear. And what he said left me traumatized. And afterwards, he said, the choice is yours, my Japanese waifu. You have the opportunity not to do it, but if you do, I will, let's just say, make your life a living hell. He then removed his arms away from my window, and he left and got away from me. I stood there, shocked and dazed, horrified, wondering how did he know that information. I got inside my car and I started to cry. But then I stopped crying and I realized something. I had to do this. And so I got my car and I drove back into my apartment. And then I put on some different type of clothes. And then afterwards, I went and made a trip somewhere. It took me about 30 minutes until I finally got to this place. It was a gated community. It was a very nice neighborhood. And I had the passcode, and I was able to get in. Once I drove about 3 houses down until I stopped at a very large house. It was a 2-story house made of bricks. It was a fancy, nice house, really, really good looking house in a wonderful neighborhood. I got out of the car and I walked towards the door and I knocked, knowing that I didn't have any other choice. I had to just do this. I opened the door and there was an older woman. She looked to be about maybe in her late 60s, early 70s. She smiled, but before she had time to say anything, I pushed my way into the house. The woman was shocked. I closed the door and locked it, and then I pulled out my gun. It was a silencer, and I shot the old woman twice. She fell down to the ground, trying to gasp for air, but eventually she just laid limp, indicating that she died from her injuries. Afterwards, I heard someone coming down the stairs. I looked up, and it was Chester. He looked surprised, but he wasn't surprised by the fact I killed his mother. He was surprised that I came, because what he said to me at that parking lot was he knew who I really was. I was an undercover assassin, and I killed people, and people can hire me off the dark web. Chester knew my secret, and he blackmailed me. He told me if I couldn't kill his mother, that he was going to expose me for what I do. It was a side job and it paid well, and I didn't want anyone to try and stop my second source of income. Afterwards, he told me that he would make it worth my while. He said that his mother is a very rich woman, and he told me that once she dies, all of her inheritance go to him, including the house. He told me that if I marry him, he will make me a rich wealthy woman, and I can quit my job at Best Buy, and I don't have to ever do this job ever again. And so I took him up on the offer. I know, strange, right? And afterwards, I decided to become his girlfriend. It was disgusting, but I had to do it. Chester looked at me and he said, "Oh my God, good job, waifu. I hated my mother. She was a bitch. She wanted me to go up and get a job. But now that I get to inherit her money and all of her assets, I won't ever have to work a day of my life again. And you get to benefit from this as well." Well, it's not like I had a choice. You were blackmailing me. But as long as you give me money and you make me rich and I don't have to ever work again, that'd be great. And besides, you said that you were going to sign half of everything over to me, right? Exactly. As long as you agree to be my wife, everything will go your way. Several weeks later, I announced to my parents that I was going to marry Chester. And after that, we went on our little honeymoon and I became his wife. Now, what he didn't know was this honeymoon was going to be the last place he sees, because there was no way in hell I was going to spend the rest of my life with a loser like him. And once he dies, I can inherit everything from him that his mother had, and I can live a rich, successful life. I don't ever have to work, and I don't ever have to deal with Chester again. So I plan on taking him out on our honeymoon.